you scroll. Not for anything specific, just scroll. Images rush by in silent procession, a ceaseless stream of faces, places, and moments, vacations you didn't take, bodies you don't have, lives you'll never live. Each flick of your finger blurs the boundary between minutes and hours, reality and illusion. Time dissolves. You pause, staring at your own reflection in the dark glass of your device, the faint outline of your face swimming in the black mirror. A subtle ache stirs in your chest. Not pain, precisely, but a low, persistent emptiness. A hollow echo where something essential once resided. It's as if you've been fed a feast of images and words, yet somehow you remain starving. What if that emptiness isn't your fault? What if it's not a personal failing, not a lack of willpower or discipline? What if it's a feature, not a bug, a part of the design itself? Imagine for a moment that we're all living in a modern incarnation of Plato's cave. 2,400 years ago, the philosopher Plato offered a story, a metaphor, a warning that would reverberate across the centuries. He asked us to picture a cave, deep and shadowed, where prisoners are chained from birth, unable to move or turn their heads. All they see is a wall before them. Behind and above, a fire burns. Between the fire and the prisoners, others pass, carrying objects that cast shadows upon the wall. For the prisoners, those shadows are all they've ever known. To them, the shadows are reality. Now picture one prisoner who breaks free. He turns, blinking painfully into the fire's glare. At first, the light blinds him, searing his eyes with its unfamiliar brilliance. But as he climbs out of the cave step by step, he emerges into a world he never imagined. Vivid, vibrant, whole. The colors astound him. The wind brushes his skin. The sun, unfiltered, dazzles his senses. He returns to the cave, eager to share what he's seen. But the others don't believe him. They mock him, defend the comfort of the familiar shadows, and reject the reality he describes. They cling to the only truth they've ever known. Does this sound familiar? In Plato's time, the shadows were myths, unexamined beliefs, the inherited stories of the tribe. Today, the shadows glow. They pulse in the palm of your hand, flicker from every screen, and shimmer with algorithmic allure. Social media, clickbait, deepfakes, political propaganda, AI-generated everything. The world is awash with content designed to look real, to feel real, but which is, at its core, a careful illusion. Welcome to the digital cave. Think about it. We watch couples online and assume that's love. See influencers in Bali and assume that's success. Scroll past perfect skin, sculpted bodies, sprawling mansions, and assume we're behind. Less than, lacking, late to the party. But these are not truths. These are shadows. Curated and filtered, edited and monetized. Illusions cast by the fires of commerce and attention. We mistake the projection for reality, and like the prisoners in the cave, most of us never turn around. This isn't a conspiracy. It's infrastructure, an architecture of attention, built by big tech and fueled by the golden rule of the digital age. What you pay attention to becomes your reality. Your time equals their profit. Your focus grants them control. Your emotional responses generate data, feeding the ever-hungry algorithm that shapes what you see next. You think you're just watching reels, but the reels are watching you. Plato feared that when we mistake illusion for truth, we stop seeking anything deeper. And isn't that precisely what's happening now? We rarely ask difficult questions. We Google the answer someone else wrote. We don't sit in silence. We fill every gap with noise, feeds, videos, endless loops of content. Worst of all, we begin to distrust our own eyes, our own judgment. We wait to be told what's real. Even shadows can feel comfortable. That's why so few leave the cave. It's warm, predictable, and endlessly reassuring. It tells us what we want to hear, flatters our biases, confirms our fears. The real world, by contrast, is messy, unfiltered, uncertain. But it is also alive. Take a moment to be brutally honest. How much of your life do you experience through a screen? How much of your identity is shaped by numbers, likes, views, followers? How much of your truth is secondhand, handed down from the glowing wall of the digital cave? When we base our self-worth on a virtual mirror, we become hollow, always reflecting, never originating. We don't live, we perform. We don't connect, we broadcast. We don't think, we consume. That is the cave. But Plato's message was not one of despair, but of awakening. You can leave. The exit is not easy. It won't come from a 30-day detox or deleting an app or making a single dramatic gesture. It comes from waking up, from turning around, one painful inch at a time. The journey begins with questioning the shadows. Not all of them, just one. Ask, is this real? Do I truly believe this, or am I merely repeating what I've been told? Who profits from this idea being true? Sit with the discomfort, because waking up from illusion hurts. It's like staring into the sun after years underground. But as your eyes adjust, you begin to see, not what is designed for you to see, but what actually is. Next, spend time with what cannot be digitized. Walk in nature, read physical books. Make real eye contact. Seek out moments that cannot be screenshotted or shared. When you walk among trees, there are no views to chase, no notifications to respond to, just you and reality, immediate and unmediated. Let those moments rewire your brain, restoring the capacity for presence that relentless scrolling erodes. Protect your inner world. If your phone is the first thing you touch in the morning and the last thing at night, you're not just living in the cave, you're sleeping in it. Set boundaries. Silence the noise. Reclaim boredom, that empty space where your own thoughts, the ones unshaped by trends or reels, can speak again. That space is sacred. Plato was not against imagination, or art, or story. He warned us that images without reflection lead to ignorance, and ignorance, when comfortable, becomes a prison. A beautiful prison, perhaps, a dopamine-lit, ultra-personalized, infinitely scrolling cell. And every day you stay in it, the walls grow higher, the shadows deeper, the exit harder to find. Yet there is another twist to Plato's cave. The one who escapes and returns to tell others is often met with rejection and disbelief. They sound crazy. They threaten comfort. They shine harsh light into gentle darkness. If you have ever tried to step back from toxic content, shallow culture, artificial friendships, you have likely felt alone. That's because you are ahead, but just like the freed prisoner, your courage plants seeds. Every act of realness in an unreal world is an act of rebellion. Every time you choose silence over noise, presence over posts, truth over trends, you help someone else glimpse the cave walls. This is not a call to delete everything and run into the wilderness. It is a call to awaken within the illusion, to use screens consciously instead of being used by them. Plato believed that real knowledge was not simply information, but transformation, a turning toward the light, again and again, every day. You are not broken. You are not crazy for feeling hollow in a hyper-connected world. The ache you feel is the wisdom of your own mind, catching on to the fact that what you have been sold is not real life, and that is the beginning of freedom. Pause now, breathe, let the silence settle. Imagine the cave walls flickering with shadows, and know that you possess the power to turn away. Not all at once, not forever, but for a moment, a breath, a single heartbeat of clarity. Question the next shadow you see. Ask yourself who benefits from your attention, your outrage, your envy, your hunger for more. Notice the sensation of your own thoughts, unfiltered and unshared, rising in the quiet. Let the discomfort pass through you and discover that beyond it lies something richer, something real. A sense of connection to the world as it is, not as it is curated for you. Remember the world outside the cave. It is not perfect. It is not always gentle or easy, but it is real. Its beauty is not in flawless surfaces or endless novelty, but in the depth of experience, the honesty of presence, the unpredictable wonder of the moment. Real laughter shared across a table, real sadness wept in solitude, real hope kindled in the darkness. These are things that cannot be commodified, cannot be captured in pixels or sold to the highest bidder. As you move through your day, practice seeing the world with new eyes. When you feel the urge to scroll, pause and ask, what am I searching for? Is it connection, distraction, validation, or escape? Acknowledge the answer, but do not let it rule you. Remember that you are more than your reactions, more than your metrics, more than the sum of your content consumption. Seek out what nourishes your soul. Listen to music with full attention. Write your thoughts by hand. Walk without headphones, letting the sounds of the real world fill your senses. Notice the play of sunlight on leaves, the texture of stone, the quiet dignity of ordinary things. Each moment of presence is a step out of the cave, a small act of rebellion against the tyranny of shadows. You may find as you do this that the world feels sharper, more difficult, even painful at times. That is the price of truth, the pain of eyes adjusting to the light after years of darkness. But also the joy of discovery, the thrill of genuine insight, the peace that comes from belonging to reality, not to illusion. Do not be discouraged if you slip back into the cave. The world is designed to pull you in, to wrap you in comfort and distraction. The journey out is not a single heroic leap, but a daily practice, a turning again and again toward the light. Each question you ask, each moment you reclaim, is a victory. You are not alone. There are others, too, who have glimpsed the sunlight, who are searching for something deeper than the endless scroll. Seek them out. Share your questions, your doubts, your discoveries. Build communities rooted in real connection, not just shared content. In this, you become not only a seeker of truth, but a guide, helping others find their way beyond the cave. Let yourself imagine a world where screens are tools, not masters, where attention is given freely, not harvested, where meaning is made, not marketed, where the light of understanding, hard-won and fiercely protected, illuminates the shadows and reveals the richness of life. Ask yourself often, am I living or am I performing? Am I connecting or am I broadcasting? Am I thinking or am I consuming? Let the answers guide you back to yourself, back to the world, back to reality. You will find that the more you turn toward the light, the less satisfying the shadows become. The illusions lose their grip, their magic fades. What remains is not always easy, not always beautiful, but it is yours, it is real. Plato's cave was never just about ancient prisoners in a literal cavern. It is about each of us, every day, choosing between the comfort of illusion and the challenge of truth. The digital world offers us more shadows than ever before, more comfort, more distraction. But it also offers the possibility of awakening if we are willing to turn, to question, to seek. You are not broken, you are awakening. The ache you feel is the first sign of freedom. Welcome it, follow it, let it lead you out of the cave and into the light. Remember, every act of realness, every moment of silence, every question asked in earnest is a step toward liberation. Not just for you, but for all those still watching the shadows. The journey is not easy. The light can blind. The world outside is uncertain, but it is alive and it is waiting for you. So the next time you scroll, remember Plato's cave. Remember the shadows, the fire, the chains. And know that you possess the power to turn away, to seek something deeper, to live a life not defined by illusion, but by reality. The beginning of freedom is the courage to look beyond the screen, to trust your own vision, to step out of the cave. One question, one breath, one real moment at a time. If this video bent your mind, share your thoughts in the comments, like and share with your fellow philosophers. If you want to explore more mind benders, hit that subscribe button.